I'm the first one on. Look at that. That's fantastic. Don't tell me you're all still in bed. I'm just getting set up. There we go. That's what we need. Jim K, good morning, Jim. It looks like it's just you and me. Hey, that new ROV looks absolutely awesome. It really does. I'm very, very tempted, Jim. Thanks for sending the information through. And you gave me a bit of a heads up before we had our internal launch here in New Zealand / Australia. Been watching the video a few times, and yeah, got to get saving up now, haven't I? Because it would be an awesome machine, and it might actually finally get me out on the trails and gonna have some fun. Although I'm in two minds because, well, it can't feature any of my videos, can it? So that would be a real shame. So maybe I can get some kind of exemption on that. I will have to investigate. Jim Clark, good evening. Good evening, morning, Jim. Good morning, Simon. Welcome aboard. Jim Clark, evening to me, morning to you. That's right. Al Alish, good evening, Andy. Good morning, Al. Easy as that, really. So what's this live stream all about? Well, it's been a tough week. It really has. I was up in Auckland at the start of the week. I went up Monday morning, and I came back on Wednesday. I set off late morning, got home about, I don't know, about 3:30, I think it was. Yeah, about 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock at the latest. On the Wednesday, came straight in the workshop, did some stuff. I had to unload the ute. I brought a lot of stuff down with me because I'm going to be down here for a while, I think. Although, well, I actually brought an ROV down with me that needs to be fixed. I actually diagnosed the fault on site because it was a crank no start, and managed to get the vehicle fired up so I could drive it on the trailer. I didn't fancy having to winch it up using ratchet straps. It would have taken me a while, and no, I haven't yet fitted a winch to the trailer. But Thursday, Friday, very busy days in the workshop, covering the phones, emails, and getting stuff done. And the racking is finished. I am so chuffed. It's taken a lot more work than I thought, but the end result, I think you will find, is spondicious. It is pretty cool. What else have we got? Brandon, good morning. Andy, good morning. Yes, good morning, Brandon. Good to have you on board, sir. Alan Howard. Hi, Andy. How's the CB750 job going? Yeah. Well, two reasons why I've not put a spanner on that bike for a couple of weeks. One is I'm waiting for parts, and some have arrived, so we can go through those. And the other one is I've, well, had other stuff to get on with, and there's more about that shortly. I've got some more stuff to do. Simon, good morning, Mr. Andy. Hope Mrs. Andy didn't smoke all your darts, lol. You probably she did, actually. She's a bug like that. If you leave your packet of cigarettes lying around, she'll just smoke them all. Shane, morning, Andy. Killswitch BB, hello. Good morning, Killswitch BB. Good to have you on board. Matterwicks, good morning. Rode the scooter this week, got a new tyre and passed the WOF. That's what I like to hear. Good job. Back on the road. God, they're coming through pretty quick. Jim K, very excited for ours to arrive this coming week. So funny I haven't placed my final order and they're on their way, lol. Yeah, I know. I'm the same. I'm going to hold back a few months though, I think. I'm probably going to get one at the start of next year. I think that'll be a good time to get it. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Because it's a big chunk of money, and I'm sure Mrs. Mechanic has got some plans for income during that period of time as well. Brocknex, are you giving away the toolbox with a sticker? Cheers from Alaska. Unfortunately not, chaps. There's no free toolboxes on this one, but there are free stickers. And I'll have to go through this a few times during the video, I think, just so that everybody's fully aware. I was speaking to a good friend of mine earlier in the week I think it was on Monday. Yes, it was Monday night. I got called out to do some, well, actually Monday afternoon. Jeez, golly. Monday afternoon and well into the evening, we were working on a good friend of mine's Triumph Bonneville. And yes, it's one of the original ones. It's a 750 model, twin cylinder, obviously. And another one of Alan's bikes, actually. He's the same guy that owns the CB750. And he'd been sort of tinkering with it. It wasn't running quite right when he got it. He wasn't very happy, so he started to tinker. And he replaced things like throttle cables and bits and pieces. And he had, I think the carburetors that he had, the tops on the carbs, and forgive me because I'm not that familiar with Triumph Bonnevilles, to be honest. It's a little bit before my time. And it turned out that the tops of the sliders on the carbs, the little plates that fit on the top of the two screws, were actually the wrong ones for the cables that were sent out. So he managed to source the right tops, and he fitted the cables, but he didn't have them, you know, the sliders balanced. A few other bits and pieces. We checked valve clearances; they were good. Spark plug gap was woefully. It was about 1 mil, and it should be 0.6 to 0.7 from memory on those. So we set the plug gaps. Basically did everything bar any kind of fuel tuning on the bike. We checked spark performance using a spark tester. We actually made one out of a bit of wood and an old spark plug and a screw, which Alan was quite impressed by. It's something I used to teach my students. And it was jumping a gap of about 10 or 11 millimeters in atmosphere. So plenty of good strong spark there. And the bike does start really well, so that wasn't an issue. And then we ran out of time that day because we had to run it up to temperature to do the carb balancing. So we left that for the following day, and we did it the following afternoon. So that was pretty good. I took it out for a ride at the end, and he says it's running much better now, a lot smoother down the bottom. It doesn't hesitate like it was before. One of the cylinders was definitely running ridiculously rich. We also dropped the needles down one notch. There's 3 grooves on the standard needle, and the clip was in the middle groove, which I think he'd put there. After a bit of research, it turns out that the clip should be in the top groove, which would therefore drop the needles down. So we did a few little adjustments, and it made quite a difference, to be honest. Oh, and we set the idle speed screws on the 2 carbs as well, which obviously, you know, sorry, not the idle speed, the mixture screws. And then finally set the idle. So he was happy. So didn't really get a lot of admin work done, to be honest. I'm a bit behind on that. I've got to catch up tomorrow. That's what I have to do. I have a day in the office, I think. But happy chap. And there's what we call the gentleman's ride up in Auckland. I hope it's going ahead in a few weeks' time. And he wanted to make sure that the bike was reliable and running correctly for that. So we fixed it. He's happy. Anyway, so these stickers, Alan was saying to me that really I haven't done very much research on what viewers want to see on the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. What I can go by is which videos are successful and which ones don't have that many views. And there's a lot of videos on the channel, especially ones that were uploaded in the early days, which have not really seen the light of day yet. And every now and again, 1 or 2 of them will sort of bounce up into action. They'll start to grow pretty quickly. And one of the recent ones that's been promoted by YouTube is the making of a trailer axle, which for the first 6 months hardly got any views at all. And now it's getting loads of views. The engine autopsy video as well is also picking up tremendously again. So, you know, I know that's a good video. People do like to watch that, but I was a bit surprised about the trailer axle one because my fabrication videos tend not to be particularly popular. So it's nice to see it doing well. And like I said before, if you want to help me, the best way that you can help me, if you can't donate, yes, Emil Carbs, I just saw that flick up, that's right, is to promote the channel through your social media and to get more people viewing the channel. That would help me immensely. So if you find one of my posts, just share it on Facebook or whatever, and let's try and get a few more viewers. Anyway, I ramble on. Quick coffee, hang on. Damn, that's hot. And we all know why, don't we? Good old Tool Girl Holly. She's doing just fine. Her wrist is a lot better now. I caught up with Holly on Tuesday night, and she's a lot happier. Anyway, we digress as always. So, we've got these. I had these made up. I picked these up on Monday morning. I had these made up. Pretty simple. It's based on the new little handy mechanic icon that appears in the bottom corner of the videos sometimes. And it's got the gorgeous Tool Girl Holly on there with, of course, the handy mechanic logo. So I'm going to give these away for free. All I ask is if you can send me an email, because you'll need to do that anyway to give me your address. Send me an email through, but tell me, A, why you like the channel. Give me 3 reasons why you like the channel, if there are 3. And put them in the level of importance. So the most important one is at the top, and the least important is number 3. And also just tell me those 3 things, and then give me your full name, address, including the postcode and country and all that kind of stuff. And I will put you one of these awesome Toolbox stickers. And I had 100 printed. They're a limited edition, no charge. I'll pay for the postage and everything, because I've had a good month on YouTube. And I'll get these posted out to you. And I'll get Mrs. Mechanic to put them in a bit of cardboard and everything so that they don't get damaged in the post. So do that. Send me an email through. It's andymechanic@live.co.uk. There is my email in the description. So get those fired through. I had 100 made. I've already given about 20 of them away. I don't want to give them all away on this live stream. So let's say the first 50 emails that come through. And I'm going to put a stop on it as well, so that, because obviously somebody might watch this video in a year's time and say, oh, free sticker. Your email needs to be sent before midnight on Monday, New Zealand time. So that would be, at the moment, it is the 6th of September. So Monday the 7th, midnight, New Zealand time, is the cutoff. How's that? Right. Got it? Okay. Back to the comments. Let's see what's going on. Where's my mouse gone? Dum, 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 dum. Okay, here we go. Here we go. No, sorry, no toolboxes. Jim K, I know here there are units available for employees to use. Don't you guys have the same? Well, possibly. But there's a lot of red tape involved, and if you damage it, you've got to pay for the fix, and you've got to clean it every time you take it back. And I live quite a long way from head office. So, yes, I might borrow it once just to get a feel for it, but if I'm going to get one, I'm going to have to get one. And I'll need a bigger workshop, won't I? Connor K, hey Andy, I set a reminder alarm so I wouldn't miss the live stream feed. It paid off. Welcome aboard, Connor. Good to have you on board, sir. And I try to use the shipping terminology, but I'm not very good at it, to be honest. So, Connor, send me an email. I've just run through what you need to know. I need you to tell me why you like the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel so much, and what you would also like to see me do in the future. Now, obviously, bear in mind things like resources. You know, if you tell me, hey, Andy, do the front brakes on a Pontiac, whatever it is, I can't, because I don't have a Pontiac, whatever it is. So more along the lines of generic content as opposed to model and manufacturer specific, if you could. But I will send you one of these free of charge for your toolbox. And then maybe, just maybe, once you put it on your toolbox, you might send me a photo by email to show me on your toolbox or in your workshop or wherever you decide to put it. Because then, you know, it helps with the whole social media thing, doesn't it? So hopefully I'm not asking too much just for a sticker, but there is no charge, and I'm paying for the postage as well, so you're all good. And there's only 50 available. There is. We're going to limit it. So the first 50 emails that I get with your full name, address, and postcode, and where your country is and everything, and some, you know, brief outline of why you like the channel and where you'd like to see it going. Bit of a mini market survey, so to speak. Matawix went to Cycle Treads, $50 for the tyre. That's not too bad. $79 installed. Yeah, $29 to fit it. Changing rear scooter tyres is a pain. Got to remove the exhaust, etc. You do, and if you're not careful, the tech won't fit the exhaust properly and have an exhaust leak. So yeah, good to check those 2 little 10mm nuts and that the gasket's seated properly and stuff. Common mistake with rookies is that one. John Erickson, have questions about an 01 GSXR. Needs second gear. Is there after gear next with it? Because if needed to change second, might as well replace the other one as well. Yes, if you're going to change a gear, so let's say for example you're changing second gear drive, you should also really change second gear driven as well, because the teeth have worn and it will become quite noisy if you don't. So yes, you'll need to replace them as a pair. That's my advice, and I would always do that. And hey, you know, once you're in there, you might find that the engagement dogs are a bit worn on some of the gears as well. And check all the bearings, because that's the time to replace them. Don't just do the bare minimum. You know, most of it's going to be labour time, not really cost. And I don't think parts for those are that expensive either. Simon, are those amyl carbs on the old Bonnie? They are, Simon. They are amyl carbs, and I'm not that familiar with them. Although I've done a bit of research recently. It is a bike that I grew up with, but I was only a kid at the time, and my godfather, Uncle Ted, the late Uncle Ted, unfortunately, used to love tinkering with his old British bikes. He used to have BSAs and all sorts. I remember riding an old BSA Bantam that he'd rebuilt to a show that he did on the race course in York. We went down for a Sunday and showed his bike off, and he let me ride it, and I thought I was so chuffed. I was only about 13 at the time. Nice chap, do miss him a lot. John Dyer, hi Andy. Oh, in capitals. Do I need to shout this out? Hey Andy, how are you? See, you still haven't had your hair cut. I will cut it for you military style, lol. Hey, I know, I haven't, but I tell you what, now that it's all tied off at the back, it's actually a lot better in the workshop. I'm not getting hair in my eyes and stuff, because I tend not to have really short hair. And the reason for that, I used to have grade 1 all over. Believe that, eh? A few years ago, grade 1. But I used to look a bit like a convict. I mean, you know, no offense to any convicts out there, but I used to look like a convict, and people used to treat me quite differently. You know, because I sort of have a bit of, I mean, maybe the beard's hiding it, but I was born with a bit of an angry face, and that and the short haircut didn't go down too well. Didn't make very many friends. So at the moment, it's just growing. Sorry, it's just the way it is. And yes, Barber John, he's been sacked. He has. He had his chance to come and cut my hair, and he bailed so many times. Not entirely his fault because of the COVID, but hey, there were times that he could have come down. Megadeth, I need one to put next to my SMA sticker. Well, you do. You definitely do, because believe it or not, Eric O is a great fan of the Tool Girls too. So you need to, in fact, I should send one to Eric. I'll do that. I'll get one out to Eric and one out to Keith, and I'll send one to Ivan as well, and a few others, other of my friends on YouTube. Those are the channels. I'll do that. It's a good idea. Well done. So yes, send me an email, and if you need to know what you need to put in the email, just rewind a bit. Although you can't do that on a live stream, can you? Okay, so tell me on the email top 3 things why you like the channel, and where you'd like to see the channel go. You know, the things that you'd like me to include on up and coming videos. Might take me a while to plan it, but you know, I can get a bit of a wish list put together and maybe try and work my way through it. Not that I haven't got other plans to do anyway, and I've got lots to do as it is, but you know, to get some kind of feedback from the viewers would be great. So I appreciate that, including the email, your full name and address and country, including the postcode, and I'll ship you one of these out. It'll be in a bit of cardboard so it doesn't get damaged. I'll post it out to you free of charge, and I'll cover the postage as well. How's that? Just from, you know, me saying thank you to you regular viewers. Car Guy 72. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Car Guy 72. Good to have you on board. Megadeth, thanks Andy. I sent you 2 emails. I forgot to put my address on the first one. Right, I'll keep my eye out for that. In fact, I have no idea where my other phone is. I think it's still in the house. I might have to go and get it. Yeah, I was in such. Yes, it is. It's still in the house. Damn. UK Weekend Workshop. Just to say that the rest of the set of Tool Girl mugs have now arrived. Ah, you're the one that ordered them all. Don't think my wife is too impressed though, as I now have all 4 mugs lined up near the kettle. Honestly, if I did that, it would be, I'd lose my remaining testicle, honestly. But they are good, aren't they? I do like the old Tool Girl mugs, and there'll be some, you know, over time when I get a chance to do more photo shoots, I'll no doubt put some other ones up as well. So if you're inclined to collect, I certainly think you are. Then there'll be more to choose from. Dinos AAAA. Hey there, Andy. Found your channel searching the tube, learning my way around my MR2 GT91 track car. Awesome. I've put back on the road. Very helpful videos. Want to say cheers for the tips and motivation. No problem at all. Really appreciate your feedback there, and the fact that the videos have been helpful to you. My MR2, or should I say Mrs. Mechanic's MR2, has now gone. It was sold about 6 months ago to a chap that was going to restore it and get it back on the road. It wasn't doing it any justice being sat in the garden. Mrs. Mechanic has a little Suzuki Swift now that she drives around, so it just wasn't going to get used. And unfortunately, Andy really just didn't have the time to do any work on it. Jim K. It is the Labour Day weekend holiday this weekend. What? Oh, where you are? Don't think it is here. Nobody mentioned it to me anyway. I'll have to check it out. Jesse Dixon, Australia dollar. That's a super chat, isn't it? Thank you very much, Jesse. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Megadeth, correction. 3 emails. Oh my word, my inbox is going to be packed out because I have Alzheimer's and forgot to put what country I'm in. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm getting bad, getting as bad as bidden. Whatever that means. I haven't heard that before. Oh, right. Sorry, Mrs. Mechanic. Here's a revelation for you. Mrs. Mechanic has left me. She has. There you go. It's out in the world. That's going to get the comments going, isn't it? Right, pie or cigarettes? Which is the most healthy? I don't know. Or least healthy? Yeah. Mrs. Mechanic has finally flown the coop. Oh. Yeah, look, the quality. Pepper steak. Nom, nom, nom. Sorry. Got to eat on camera. Starving. Yeah, she left Thursday. About lunchtime it was. She's gone up to Auckland. She said it wasn't far enough away. John Tyson, pie warmer. I forgot. It was on my list. Ran out of time. Because I had the big trailer on the back, and there's not really very many car parks where you can go and park an enormous great trailer that's almost twice the length of your ute. Num num num. John Tyson visiting the kids. I'm sure she'll be calling to see the kids. Jeez. Fireblade 2102. Is that pie for breakfast? It is. It's my survival rations. At the moment, now that Mrs. Mechanic isn't here, and there's a pile of washing up stacking up, I'm sort of looking more at the disposable sort of foodstuffs, which doesn't involve plates, knives or forks, just to save a bit of time, you know. Doing the old man thing. Simon Watling, Auckland, no! I know. I tell you, when I went up to Auckland on Monday, even though they're in, was it lockdown 2.5 now, or level 2.5? I don't know what's going on. It's all getting a bit confusing for the public. But during the first lockdown, I mean, yes, I was at home all the time. I didn't get to go out and stuff. Mrs. Mechanic went out shopping. But there seemed to be an air of hope and people just mucking in and getting on with stuff and making the best of it, almost like the British way, you know. But this time round, people seem really pissed off and annoyed and frustrated, and they're sort of losing their mojo now, you know, now that it's come round again. I think it's highlighted our vulnerability as a country, the fact that, you know, we'd sort of defeated COVID. We were in the clear, we'd done it. And then it suddenly arrived again, and there were problems. And there's still problems. And those problems are that we're still letting people in, but legally we have to. But the people we let in don't do as they're told. They keep escaping from the various places that we put them in. And then the virus spreads again. It's a real problem. And I think there's only one solution. Don't let them in. And if you do, they're under military guard for 2 weeks. If you try and leave, I don't know, shoot you. I mean, it's for the good of the country, isn't it? People that have it, it's not their fault, I understand that, but it is their fault if they don't stick to the rules, and they should pay for it. But maybe the bullet to the head is probably a bit far-fetched, isn't it? But, you know, something should be done, because it's threatening the country again, and we've all worked so hard to eradicate this virus. And it's definitely affecting everybody's work at the moment. I'm finding it mentally quite weird at the moment. It's been going on too long now as this whole COVID thing, and some days, I don't know, maybe I'll lose my mojo as well. It's a bit weird, to be honest. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that understand what I'm saying. Kengill, or King L. I'm a mechanic currently in the process of moving from Britain to Oz. What did you find challenging about moving, if you can remember? Well, moving to a different country and starting all over again is probably one of the most difficult things you'll do in your entire life. For a start, you've got all your friends. You know, you've grown up back in Britain, and you know, you've got friends and family there that you leave behind. So that makes it hard, because you know you're not going to see them again for a long time, if ever. But then when you get into the new country, you're an immigrant. You know, you've got no friends. You've got to find somewhere to live. You've got to get re-established. If you've had a workshop in England, you don't have your little shed anymore. Your happy space is gone. And really, you've got to put in 110% effort to get back on your feet. And yeah, it's great to explore the new country. There's lots of advantages as well, but it does take time. And the red tape was the hardest part for me. Getting me and my family accepted here in New Zealand. I mean, I was on work visas for the first few years. We had a residency application go in pretty early on, but it took 3 years to get processed. It was ridiculous. And I was working off the skills shortage list, and the government kept changing it and taking off the category that I was currently under. So I had to get a different job and a new work visa. And that was hard. It was really stressful. And I had to make sure I was paid enough money to get accepted into the country as well. There was a minimum earnings requirement. And I had 3 kids, and they were all dependents at the time. So, you know, that racked up the amount of money I had to earn. And the cost, seriously, the cost of sorting out, the total cost was about 23,000 New Zealand dollars. For all the various visa applications. I had an advisor helping me as well, because I had no idea how to go about it. And I really only had one chance to get it right. I didn't want to mess it up, so I paid the money. But it certainly ate a huge chunk into my savings at the time. It was a very worrying 3 years, really, until I finally got my residency. It's done now. And that was 11 years ago when I first came to New Zealand. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's in my distant memory, but it's behind me now. And all the kids, they're all happy. They've all got established, and I've got a great job. I've had a really good little career here in New Zealand. It's gone really well. Oh my word. Sorry, I'm missing some comments. I do ramble on, but it's one of those sort of, I don't know, heart-to-heart kind of live streams, really. Jim K, how is lockdown? Any updates? To be perfectly honest, Jim, I don't know. I haven't even checked for the last few days, or maybe the last week, in all honesty. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm stuck at home. I did go out. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning. Got me pie. Got some cigarettes, but trying to stay at home. You know. Fireblade 2102. I salute you, sir. Thank you. Simon, top tip. Put tin foil on baking trays. Saves the washing up. What a bloke. I do like that idea. I'll do that. Jim Haynes. I am here this week from a remote location, not in Virginia, but in Eagle, Nebraska. at the IMCA Race Saver Sprint Car Nationals. Wow, that was a mouthful. As a sprint car tech inspector, we have 100 sprint cars for the 3-day race. That's awesome. You're going to have a great time there, Jim. Well done. Jim K. Andy, so many people are mean nowadays. Oh, they are. The world is it's a hard place, you know. I remember when I went to Barcelona years ago as doing what was it called? It was with God, memory's going now. It was like a work placement with Mercedes on the Petra scheme. That was it. And you know, I drove to Spain from England in my little Suzuki Jeep, and every person that I met over there was so welcoming. And you know, I stayed with a family over there, James and his son James, and I can't remember his wife's name. But they were they just treated me like one of the family. You know, it was really nice, and everybody I met was great. And I had the same kind of experience when I first came to New Zealand. You know, it was only a small number of people, but those that I did meet did help me immensely. But to be honest, it was about who you knew. I mean, I had a few contacts before I left the UK. I already had family over here. Well, Mrs. Mechanic already had family over here. So that certainly helped to bridge the gap. And I've seen on a number of occasions, and especially students, to be honest, where they've come into New Zealand. One was a Russian girl, Daria, who her name was, and she found it so hard to get established here in New Zealand. It was really, really difficult for her to get a work visa and then to finally get residency. It was almost impossible, to be honest. So, you know, you try and help where you can, and I suppose they call it karma, don't they? You know, I got helped when I came across, so you've got to help them out. Oh my word. Jim Haynes. We'll have to leave before the end as I have to go do tech work at 5:30 Nebraska time. Oh my word. That's way too early. Megadeth. New study shows only 9,000 people in the USA have actually died from COVID. Really? That's rather a difference in numbers, isn't it? I'll have to check that one out. Machine NZ. Morning, Andy. Good morning, Machine NZ. Matowix. This lockdown sucks. They let it in through the border, and they are from Afghanistan, etc. How did they get a passport? John Key let in too many immigrants. Now we are paying. It's a very contentious issue, isn't it? You know, how many people you bring into a country. From what I understand, when I was working at Unitec as a lecturer, and really when I first came to New Zealand as well, I experienced it firsthand. That, and I actually see it now as well in my current job, that the skill set within the population here in New Zealand, in the main, you know, especially your tradesman side of it, and especially mechanics, is on the decline. The teaching is on the decline, and obviously, therefore, the number of people out in the, you know, working in the industry that are fully qualified and actually not just qualified, but actually skilled. They're actually savvy and actually know what they're doing, and they're good at everything. Is few and far between in the motorcycle industry. It really is. And a lot of those are the senior techs, and they're getting older, and they're going to leave the industry one day, whether they retire or they decide to go and do something else. And the industry is really starting to suffer. You know, as vehicles are getting more and more complex, and the skill set is dwindling away, we've got this huge void, and it's causing problems. And I'm seeing it firsthand. So that's the answer for the government, isn't it? Import the skill set. But then you have language barriers, and it dilutes the population. It's difficult. It's a really difficult one. Ultimately, they should invest in training. That's the bottom line. It's all about training. If you don't pass on the knowledge, you lose it. It's simple. Simon Watling. Nailed it on the head, Andy. If we let them in, they should be under military guard. They should be. I believe so. It's only for a couple of weeks. We can't, well, as humans, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, it's definitely the minority, they have proved beyond any doubt they are not capable of following the rules. So, from a management team perspective, and the government are the management team, they need to put something in place to take away that variable. And that will be a simple way of doing it. But that's just an idea. It's just my idea, my personal views. Matterwicks. How come new immigrants can't even speak English and they are New Zealand citizens? What a joke. I agree. It all depends. This is how crazy it is. From what I understand, it all depends on what country that you come from. Now, if you're coming in from China, there are some very bespoke, probably a bit of a posh word for it, trade agreements between New Zealand and China. And it does seem that the Chinese can bypass the IELTS test. So there is no measure of their ability to speak English before they come to New Zealand. If, however, you come from places like, for example, Russia, where Daria came from, then you have to get, I think it's a 5.2 score. I could be wrong on the IELTS. It does vary year on year, but I think it's 5.2 on the IELTS. And if you don't achieve that, you can't stay. You're not going to get residency. It's as simple as that. But why is there a discrepancy? Why should one person not have to take the test and other people do? Isn't that racist? I don't know. Your choice. You decide. But it seems a bit messed up to me. Alan Joseph, where do you live, mate? I live near Taupo at the moment, actually, in New Zealand. Matterwicks, I have 6 Irvine frozen steak and cheese pies in the freezer. Mate, honestly, 6. If Ben was around, they'd last probably about a day and a half, and he would have eaten his way through all those. He used to have 2 pies for tea with some Heinz baked beans. And Simon knows just how good Heinz baked beans are. King L, thanks for the info. We are currently 2 years into the application and have our visas accepted, but would rather wait till COVID has settled before making the move. I would agree completely. Where you are at the moment, you've got a network, you've got a safety net, you've got, I'm assuming, family and friends in the area back in the UK. Plus all your health, you've got your health cover from the government and everything as well. You've got that safety net. The last thing you want is to be dropped into an alien country with very little support. It's going to cost you, and it cost you way more than you can even plan for. And with the COVID thrown in as well, it'll just be a nightmare. Stay where you are. That's my advice. And then when it all settles down, what do we say in England? Once it's all blown over, then head across and start your new life. Matt Salmon. Hey, Andy. What actually is your day job? That's a very good question. But before I answer it, I'm going to have another bite in my pie before it gets too cold. Well, believe it or not, and I can't be absolutely specific on this, but it's cold this morning. I provide service support to a network of motorcycle dealerships. I can't mention the brand. Those that know. To a network of motorcycle franchises, dealerships around New Zealand, both North and South Island. There's about 40 of them in total. I provide technical support, do all the warranty stuff. I provide technical training. I help to set up the service departments, quality control, warranty auditing. I've recently been involved in promoting, or actually presenting, videos, technical videos on ATVs and ROVs and the two-wheel farm bikes that this particular manufacturer make, which have basically at the moment been used for dealer education, but will also, I believe, start to go into social media at some point soon. A lot of the still images that we took on the days that we were filming have now been used in social media. I'm just waiting for the videos to come out. Very successful. It was quite nerve-wracking for me, to be honest, but because it's quite a different kind of filming. We had a film crew and a director and all sorts of stuff, but yeah, very strange. But no, I tend to do all sorts of stuff for this particular manufacturer. all around the service department aspect of the dealerships. And there's only me. That's it, just me. And I tend to drive everywhere, so I do a lot of Ks. Not this year though. At the moment, I'm stuck at home. So a lot of the diagnostics are over the phone and by email. A lot of it ends up being by email. Now then, MG, morning Andy. Morning MG, how's it going? John Tyson, Kingell, what part of Oz? Private conversation going on, that's good. Bit of collaboration, that's what we like. Matowix, Auckland isn't very friendly really. Auckland, I've found, is so diluted now as regards culture and race. Not being racist at all, but there's a lot of people living in Auckland that are not from New Zealand. They're originated from elsewhere. They're immigrants, basically. Thousands and thousands and thousands of students. It's just a factory of learning, really, is Auckland. But like any big city, you know, it's busy and there's a lot of people and nobody has time for anybody. It's a very fast pace in Auckland compared to the rest of New Zealand. If you compared it to London, for example, it would seem probably pretty laid back, but it's very different to the rest of the country. Machine NZ, could we do a sticker swap? Are you collecting other YouTube creator stickers? I am, of course I am. I've finally got the cupboard up now, up on the racking, so the stickers are going on thick and fast. So by all means, please send me some stickers through. Flick me an email. In fact, we'll do that again now. So, because that's what the live stream's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? We go off on all these tangents. This is the Toolbox sticker giveaway. And obviously, this is the gorgeous Tool Girl Holly modeling the sticker for you. And what you need to do for me, to help me, is send me an email through with just briefly a couple or 3 reasons why you enjoy watching the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Also, next paragraph, tell me what you'd like to see on the channel in the future. You know, where do you want it to go? Give me some kind of feedback on what you would do if you were Andy Mechanic. And then in the email, give me your full name. It doesn't go any further. It's only to me. Give me your full name, full address, including the postcode and the country that you're in, and I'll get Mrs. Mechanic, hopefully if she comes back, to put some cardboard either side of the sticker, and we'll put them out in the post to you. And these are free of charge. I'll be paying for the postage. It's my gift from me to you for your toolbox, basically. And then once you get it, if you want, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can send me a photo, whether it's a selfie or whatever you like, I don't mind, of the sticker on your toolbox. And who knows, I might decide to use some of those pictures. If they're just toolbox pictures, so not selfies, I might use a few of them in, you know, some of the intro or in the credits at the end of the next videos. I do need to review the intro video now for the first sort of 30 seconds bit that goes on the videos, because it's time for a refresh. So who knows, there might be 1 or 2 stills put in there as well. We'll have to wait and see. But there you go. So that's how you get your hands on one of these stickers. Just send me an email through. There's going to be 50 stickers. It's limited to 50. Flick me the email through, and the deadline, I must receive the email by New Zealand time, midnight tomorrow. That's Monday the 7th, isn't it? I think, yeah. Monday the 7th of September, midnight, New Zealand time, is the deadline. So if you want one of these, get your email sent, and give me a week. I'll get it all collated, and we'll go and buy some envelopes and stuff and get them all put together. But there you go. Get your own, you know, limited edition, free, postage free, no cost to you, Andy Mechanic 2020 Toolbox sticker. Wow. So Machine NZ, you'll find my PO box address as well down in the description. So by all means, please send me some of your stickers. And again, send me an email with your address, and I'll put you a couple of mine in as well. I might even have, in fact I've got one of the very first Andy Mechanic Toolbox stickers. I've got one left. It's sat on my PC, so I'll put that in there as well, because that's a real classic, is that one? Be worth a fortune. One day. King L. John Tyson needs to go to New South Wales for 2 years, then can go anywhere. Plan to travel a bit first and see the country. Good luck. King L. Thanks, mate. You see, it's all about people on the ground. Alan Joseph. Do you live around Auckland? I take it this is me. No, I work from Auckland, so I do a lot of travelling. I live near Taupo. Oh my word. Jim Haynes, 5:30 p.m. Not a.m. That's not too bad. Saturday afternoon here, not Sunday morning, day 2 of the races. Sunday is the biggest day of the event. Wow. Do you get a lot of spectators as well? You probably do. And are there any restrictions to the number of spectators that can frequent an event at the moment over in the States? Or yeah, Megadeth. You see much use for you see much use for Imperial tools in NZ. I have very few that I used on some old Jaguars, but they just gather dust these days. I can't remember the last time I picked up an Imperial spanner, to be honest. Most of the stuff I work on is Japanese anyway. It wouldn't really be much use to me, to be honest, unfortunately. But somebody out there might have use for them. I suppose people that work on Harleys and stuff, they tend to be still Imperial, don't they? Jim K. Andy, will you show the pie if there's any left? All this talk is making me hungry. You want to see my pie? Oh my word. Okay, hang on. Let me take it out of the bag. And yes, there's about half of it left. Look at that. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? It's cooling down though, so I've got to munch my way through it. Simon, at the start of the COVID, the first plane that landed in the UK from Spain, after Spain locked down the passengers, were held on an RAF base for 2 weeks. Why did anything change? That's perfect. Good job. I like that. Richo. Hello, Richo. Alan Joseph. I'm at Unitec, Mount Albert campus. Oh my God. Alan, good job. What are you studying? Tell me. I'll tell you now, Mount Albert campus has changed tremendously since I used to teach there. And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, I've only been in my current job for just over 3 years. So prior to that, I was at Mount Albert teaching at Unitec. And I was teaching in the automotive department. I was teaching level 4. But they've put up a new building now, and they've torn down lots of the old classrooms and lots of the old workshops. They've just disappeared. I went there one evening, about a year ago it was, just have a wander around. I was staying up in Auckland, thought, oh, that'll kill the evening, you know, now I'll go and find a pub. And where I used to teach was just barren land. They'd torn everything down. It was really sad to see, actually. And I couldn't really get my head around it. It was, some of them were perfectly good buildings as well, you know. Jim K. Andy's job is to be the man, the one and only man in New Zealand. Don't pin that on me, Jim. That's way too big a responsibility. Marta Wicks, do you think motorcycle parts are getting harder to import and find? Absolutely they are. Yes, it's a real problem. I mean, I've got parts waiting to come in for Tool Girl Holly's farm bike. I've got parts on order for the CB750. There are delays. You know, it's just the way it is. The manufacturers are not to blame. There's a very little air freight at the moment, and what air freight there is really expensive. From the manufacturing side of things, you know, if the parts are manufactured by a third party, a contractor, you know, they may well have been affected by the COVID. The factory might have shut down, that worst case scenario. So yeah, there's just a multitude of problems with part supply at the moment. And sometimes you get the odd customer that just doesn't understand. And it's like, have you not turned on the TV in the last few months? The world is turning to shit. It really is. And it's a small price to pay that you can't get a new part for your bike. Now, I understand if the bike's not on the road and you need it for transport and stuff, but there are other ways, you know. It's not the end of the world that you can't ride your motorcycle, you know. And everybody I've spoken to in the industry, and I speak to other manufacturers, staff that work there, I speak to the aftermarket suppliers as well. Everybody is doing everything they possibly can to get those parts to their customers because they need the sales. You know, it's in their interest to send out the invoices with the parts. And they're all struggling, you know, cash flow wise. So don't go blaming the suppliers, please. Connor K, that's too bad about the decline of people in the trades. A university education is great, but the trades make the world operate properly. They do, absolutely. And you know, was it 20, 30 years ago, the number of people that had degrees, that were coming out of university with degrees, was only maybe 1 or 2% of the population. Whereas now that percentage has massively gone up. So it's sort of, you know, you're not guaranteed a job with a degree. You're absolutely not. If you get into the trades, you've got a job straight away, so you're earning some money rather than racking up a debt with your student loan. But you're learning a trade. You're learning something which you can travel to anywhere in the world and get a job. And as a mechanic, you can do that. I mean, anywhere I've gone, even some of the dealers that I go and visit, Andy, if you ever need a job, you're working here. You know, it's the doors just open. If you're good at communicating and you're good at what you do, you'll get a job anywhere, and you get well paid for it too. And that's another thing. Don't give yourself away too cheap. You know, stand your ground. If you know what you're worth, charge it. But don't be greedy, otherwise they'll slam the door in your face. Now, where do we get? Oh, Richo. Okay, how can I get one of those stickers? Right, another little segue. Another bite of the pie, because it really is getting cold now. It'd be a shame to have to go and put it in the microwave. I'll tell you now, BP pies, bloody awesome. Right, sorry for those that have already heard this before. Sticker, Toolbox sticker for your toolbox with the gorgeous Tool Girl Lilli on it. It's free. I'm going to send it to you. I'm only sending out 50 in total, so they are limited edition. And what you need to do is send me an email. I've got some pie on camera, nice. Send me an email and tell me 2 or 3 things about why you like the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Dead easy, couple of lines, doddle. Then tell me, a bit more in depth, tell me, you know, where you would like to see the channel go, what you would do if you were Andy Mechanic, what videos would you produce. Now, try not to be specific on make and model of vehicle, because it, you know, that makes it very difficult from my side of things, because if I haven't got the resources, I haven't got one of those cars or one of those motorcycles, then I can't do the video. But if it's more of a generic type video, then I can. Shouldn't be a problem. So do that, and then the last part of the email needs to be your full name, full address, including the country that you're in, and your postcode. And once I've got that, and the deadline for this will be New Zealand time, Monday midnight. That's tomorrow, the 7th of September, 2020. For those that are watching this in, I don't know, 20 years time or something stupid, because if you are, I don't look like this. I look really old and probably will be sat watching TV in front of a coal fire, knowing me. So there you go. Toolbox sticker. There's only going to be 50 of these sent out, free of charge, no cost to you, no P&P. I'm paying all the bills with this one. It's my gift from me to you. And it's a cool sticker. I do like them. I like them a lot. And it was a bit of inspiration. And I must admit, that photo shoot we did with Tool Girl Lilli turned out brilliantly. Got some really good stills from that. Now then. Alan Joseph. Is that pie from Wild Bean Cafe, BP, Taupo Central? Almost. It's not, but almost. I'm not going to tell you where it came from. But it is from a BP, and it's not too far from Taupo. Matowix, was the pie $5? It was about $5. Matowix, there's a possible COVID case in South Island The New Zealand. Oh, really? I'll check it out. Thanks for that. Alan Joseph, I think it's a gourmet pie. It should be 5. Obviously, we've got a pie connoisseur here. I think it was $5.40. All right, there you go. And it's a steak and a pepper steak pie. Matowix, do you like Harley Davidsons? I like the very early Harley Davidsons. I like them when they were on the track. I like the grassroots story of Harley Davidson. Unfortunately, I believe that some owners of that particular model have, what's the word? Stereotyped the group of the owners of Harley Davidsons and probably spoilt it a little bit. I had a friend in the UK that had a Harley, and his wife had a Harley as well, and they fitted into that stereotype absolutely 110%. And it was such a shame. It really was. I also had a guy with a Harley come in to where I was working a few years ago, and he had a car tire on the rear rim. I didn't give him a warrant. I failed his warrant because of it, because the car tire was never designed to go on a motorcycle. And, you know, it's a bloody square section tire. How are you supposed to go around corners, mate? So again, he got a bit upset and started jumping up and down, and that sort of put me off Harleys even more. But hey, it's not the bike, it's the people in the main. Richo, pies here are $7. Jeez. Alan Joseph, ooh. Daniel Beddle, hello Andy. Good morning, Daniel. Good to have you on board. This is a great live stream. I'm really enjoying this. Alan Joseph, pepper steak. That's the one. Jim Haynes, Sunday we should see about 6,000 plus spectators, as this is a short track event. Winged sprint cars on a 3/8 mile banked dirt oval. Wow. If it's got dirt, there'll be crashes. Matowix, I went to Unitec in the early 90s. Wow. A lot of people went to Unitec. It was a very popular establishment with the students years ago, but it's very much in the demise now. They're sort of going away. In fact, the only reason why they're doing the building trades at the moment is because, from what I understand it, the government have subsidised it, because they made a promise of building so many houses in the Auckland area. So they dumped a lot of money into Unitec to you know, agree to train so many new tradies. Jason Leonard, hey Andy. Jason Leonard, clap clap. Jim K, I wonder if we have pies like that here in the USA. I don't know, Jim. I don't know, but I'm going to have another bite because it's really nice. David Eagleton. Good name. Eagleton. You need a microwave and a coffee pot in the man cave. I have thought about this. And since putting up the new racking and pulling all the racking away from the wall and stuff, we obviously have a rat. We clearly have a rat. And this rat obviously doesn't like the rat poison that I put out, because there's a little rat poison thingy down there, and one of those plasticky things with the poison inside. Maybe he's eaten it all. I've not checked. And maybe he's immune to it. But in all honesty, on that top wooden beam that sits at the back of the wall, it's covered in rat shit. So I've got to hoover all that out one day. But it's old. It's not fresh stuff. It's all old. So I am hoping that Ratty's now gone away and died. And I haven't heard of Ratty around. But to have anything kind of foodie related in the workshop would only invite more Ratties, unfortunately. He'd probably bring his friends and family in here, and, you know. And I did find a rat's nest up between the corrugated iron and the little black sheet stuff that they put in there. It was all full of, you know, wool and fibres. It was amazing what he gathered up. And it wasn't a bird's nest, that's for sure. So anyway, I dug all that out, and that's gone now. So maybe he's decided to go and live in somebody else's shed. I don't know. But I think as regards food in the workshop, I've got to be so careful. John Tyson. Mount Albert campus. I studied industrial relations there back in 1983. Wow. Industrial relations. I wouldn't be very good at that. I'd just tell them to go and, well, I can't use that word. I'm a good mediator though, actually. David Eagleton and more Tool Girls. I tell you now, Tool Girls, I have really, really struggled to try and find a new Tool Girl this time round. I mean, sure, we've still got Tool Girl Holly. Tool Girl Lilli's left now. She's gone off to focus more on her photography and modelling side of things. Terrible shame. Really, really enjoyed having Lilli around. She was a fantastic Tool Girl. And we do catch up every now and again, you know, outside filming. And she's well, she's doing okay. She's pursuing what she wants to do, and that's fine. I totally respect that. We still have Tool Girl Holly, and we're planning to do some more filming at the end of September, provided we don't go into lockdown again. By that time, hopefully all the parts will be here, or most of the parts will be here for a farm bike, so we can get on with that. There's a fly in here. Bastard, honestly. But yeah, trying to recruit a new Tool Girl, trying to find a new Tool Girl is getting really difficult. It might be down to the COVID thing as well. I just don't know what's going on, but I will try again in a few weeks. I'm sure we need to have at least 2, don't we? Just to break it up. But Holly's awesome, and Holly will be here forever. I'm sure of it. I don't want to jinx it, but Holly's great. I've known Holly for a long time. In fact, Tool Girl Holly used to be one of my students. She did a great job. Matawix, have you ever owned a sidecar bike? I haven't, although I have ridden one that I did a warrant on years ago. It was an old, oh man, what was it? I forget the old make now. It was an old Indian. It was an Indian, and it had a square section front tire on it. It was fantastic. And you couldn't lean it. It drove like a car, but with a pair of handlebars. It was weird. It weighed a ton. Brakes weren't so good on it. It was old. It was really old. Simon Watling, I work for an importer as well. Thankfully, most customers are understanding. Yeah, most customers are. The problem is if they're using the vehicle for their job. You know, if it's a farm and they're using a quad bike, for example, on the farm, and you tell the customer, hey, look, you know, it's going to be 3 months before we get that part for your bike. That farmer uses that bike every day, nearly all day long, and to not have it for 3 months is just, it's not an option. It becomes a real problem. So of course they're going to get upset. I don't know the answer, to be honest. It's a real problem. Pat Toohill. Morning, Pat. I just got here. True about college versus trade. I think it is. I think it's getting more so nowadays than it was. Jim K. Speaking of parts, do you receive parts from the USA for ATVs, RVs, or do they come from Japan? We get parts from all over the world. Pat Toohill. Lol, if I was Andy Mechanic making videos, I would be kicked off YouTube and Mrs. Mechanic would kill me. You don't know the half of it. Like I said earlier in this video, for those that have just joined us, Mrs. Mechanic has left me, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Richo, just sent you a Gmail. I'm Paul, that wrote asking on Facebook. Okay, no problem, Paul. I'll keep my eye on for that. Simon Roll, a $5 for a pie. I'd want chips and peas for that price. I know they are expensive, but 5 New Zealand is basically about just over £2 UK. And it is at a petrol station. Everything's expensive at a petrol station. Even petrol. Oh, I'm catching up. Matterwicks. Why would the deemed for Unitec demise? Why would? Don't get it, Matterwicks. You might have to. I think you've missed a few letters out. Oh, spell check's got you on that one. Jim Haynes. See you guys next week as I fly home Monday and next Sunday off. Weekend for racing before back to it the next Saturday. All right, Jim. Well, safe travels, and I'll catch up with you whenever I catch up with you. Cheers, Jim. Richo, get a cat, then there'll be no rat. Yeah, but I'm allergic to cats, so there'll be no Andy. Jim K, how about that mouse nest in the ATV? Yes, I sent you a picture of such little buggers. They are, aren't they? Little rodents, and they quite like the taste of the wire, definitely. Matowix. Would running a 4-stroke scooter on 95 octane give it much more power? It can take 89 and over. Not really. I think it would be a waste of money, to be honest. Just get a bigger bike. Richer. I've got a Honda CR250 2-stroke. Oh my God. How they've shot up in price. Oh yeah, they have. What years? What is this a new one that you bought? I didn't even realise that Honda was still making 2-strokes. If it's a new one, they obviously are. Oh my golly, Baba Gian. I can't pronounce that name. Hi Andy. Hi, Alan Joseph. I'm doing bachelor's at Unitec Construction. QS. QS. What does QS stand for? Jim K. Any potential tool girls at the motorcycle shops? Now you've got me thinking. No, that would be a conflict of interest. That would not work. I can't do that. That's what's called blurring the boundaries. You can't be doing that. Matwix, why would the demand for Unitec demise? Don't people still want to learn? If the product that you're providing isn't in line with market demands, and it's not of particularly good quality, and you end up with a bad reputation as a company, then you're going to not get so many customers. It's a very inefficient establishment. Way too many managers, way too many sub-managers, way too many pen pushers, and way too few teachers. And what they pay the teaching staff is just a joke. The good teaching staff leave and get jobs in other universities. There you go. Right. And don't get me started on okay, here we go. Revelation for you. All right, this is what I learned when I was at Unitec. A student, let's say a resident of New Zealand student enrolls at Unitec, and the course to them is 6,000 New Zealand dollars. The real cost of the course is probably more like 16,000 New Zealand dollars. But provided 80% of that class pass the course at the end of the year, the government will pay Unitec the extra $10,000 per student. If they don't achieve the 80% pass rate, they don't get that extra money, or they don't get all of it. Maybe they only get a percentage of it based on the percentage pass rate. I don't know the finer details, but if you were running an institution like that, what would you do to make sure you got all the money you needed? I'm not going to join all the dots. You can work it out for yourselves. You're all intelligent people. I don't endorse that kind of stuff. That's where financial elements tend to bend morality. So there you go. Another reason why I left. Brian. Talking of tool girls, most of us married men cannot watch you when you have the tool girls on, in case the missus walks in and thinks we're perverts. Do you know where I'm coming from? I do, Brian. I do. And there's been an issue very recently come up. Hang on, one last bite, hang on. In fact, hang on a second. Hang on. I'm back. Don't panic, I'm back. Okay, so I hear exactly what you're saying. And times have changed. And the times have also changed since I launched the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. You know, YouTube themselves, you know, regularly review the rules for creators and video content. Oh, still hot. Coffee's not bad either. And it came to light about a week ago. And I'm not going to say which one, but as you well know, there's a few companies that support the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. I mean, we've got Tang, we've got Pico, we've got Nobby, we've got Forge. You know, there's a few out there, which I am extremely grateful for. And that support makes some of the videos possible. You know, I need to use that equipment or that product to do what I'm doing. So, and I grew up in a, you know, when I was a kid, Dad would watch the Benny Hill show. You know, it was as funny as hell, and there was lots of chicks on there, and most of them were wearing stockings and high heels and running around cricket pitches and stuff, chasing him and things, and it was funny. We had Everett. What was his? I've forgotten his first name now. It wasn't Tony Everett, but there was a few TV programs at the time which had scantily clad females on there. There was the Fall Guy, you know, he would have there'd be a jacuzzi, he'd be in the jacuzzi and the chicks would be wearing, you know, bikinis. Everywhere you look, that's how women were portrayed. Oh, we're having a coffee next door. And that's the culture that I grew up in. I also grew up in workshops where there were Pirelli calendars on the wall. You know, we've got a Forge one just over there, you know, which had scantily clad, usually naked women on them. And that's just the environment that we have. It's the custom of mechanics. It's the automotive industry. Is we have girls around that look nice, you know, that flaunt various assets. And you know, the first Tool Girl to be on the show was, of course, Tool Girl Harley, and she is gorgeous. She really is, and she's there in a bikini and her high heels, and we had a lot of fun filming that. I think is it gonna? There we are. Look, see, fun. She's smiling, and she's only there because she wants to be there. Yes, she was getting paid for it, but it was just a job, and she was happy to accept the terms. And over time, the Tool Girls' outfits have changed. I mean, we've got, you know, I thought bikini and high heels would be fantastic, but it wasn't actually that practical in the workshop, and it did create quite a fuss. And the shoes that she had on were open toe and got all that kind of issue as well. So then, you know, over the years, the outfits for the Tool Girls changed, and we got, obviously we've got this Tool Girl Lilli there, like you see with her red safety boots on down there. The shorts are probably a little bit short, to be fair, but the shirt worked really well, and she liked the outfit she was wearing, you know. And we've got obviously Jade, and Jade definitely needed a bigger shirt. There's no doubt about that, but it worked well, and we had a lot of fun together, you know. She's got her little red safety boots on and stuff, and she's got the bigger shorts, you know. So I thought that was great. And more recently, we've revised the Tool Girl outfit further to be, I don't know, a bit more workshop style. So obviously we've got Holly, and she's got the same shirt, look, you see. But now all her legs are completely covered up, so extremely safe for in the workshop. And again, she's got the standard Andy Mechanic safety work boots on, which she finds work extremely well. And added benefit that she can reach things on the high shelves as well, which is great. Anyway, I'm building up to something. I got a request by one of the Andy Mechanic, you know, supporters, companies that help out, saying, "Hey Andy, we think you need to review your intro video. Your Tool Girls are a little bit scantily clad for our liking, and maybe you need to tone it down a little bit." And I said, well, you know, I can't change what's already on the channel, and with all due respect, those videos, when they were produced, it was quite acceptable to have that kind of stuff. And for me personally, I don't have a problem with it. And I said to this company, I said, okay, I hear what you're saying, but you advertise in magazines and online, and these magazines are automotive-based magazines. And in the same magazine, and probably on the front cover, will be a scantily clad young lady drooped over the bonnet of a fast car. So there's an association there as well, isn't there? The company, your company, is being associated by being in the same magazine as the images of scantily clad young ladies. Are you going to stop advertising in those magazines? Because you have no control over what other advertisers put in that magazine. You know, you're not going to proof their adverts and they're not going to proofread your advert. That will compromise your advantage in the industry. Wasn't much of an answer to that. Obviously, I don't want to lose the supporter. They're a big supporter of the channel, and I also need to make sure that the channel stays YouTube friendly, because, you know, YouTube might bring a rule in one day which would make some of the older videos non-compliant. They might be found to be in breach of the guidelines that YouTube have, and that video may well get taken down, which will be a terrible shame, but that's just the way it is. There might only be a very specific point in the video, maybe there's a bit of cleavage being shown or something, which is just too much. So maybe then I could re-edit the video, get rid of that little bit and put it back up on the channel. I don't know. It would depend specifically on, you know, on each video really. And there's a lot of work goes into that. Probably be easy just to re-record it, to be honest. But I feel very strongly about this. Yes, you know, things have changed. Harley was in a bikini, and now you look at Holly, you know, and I don't see anything wrong with that at all. She's pretty much fully covered, just a little bit of midriff showing. She's wearing a short sleeve shirt. What's the problem? So that is the outfits the Tool Girls will be wearing in the future. And I'm going to obviously redo the intro stuff a little bit, but, you know, to get rid of Tool Girls, that's never going to happen. To put them in a full baggy overalls is not going to happen. They are what they are, and that's the way it's going to be. And I must admit, my style of filming has changed a bit as well. You know, I mean, when Jade was in the workshop, I would certainly angle the camera to focus on her pair of assets significantly, and she enjoyed that side of things as well. It was fun. We had a laugh in the workshop. But now it's a little bit different. You know, we've just got to be a bit more conservative, a bit more, you know, sensible about how we do things, because the last thing I want to do is to alienate a very good supporter of the channel, but also have those videos disappear in the future. And in all honesty, you know, when you tie in what it costs for all the outfits and what I pay the Tool Girls, and yes, they do get paid when they come down. It's a day job for them, and they enjoy it. They wouldn't be here otherwise. They don't just do it for the money, but you've got to compensate them. They've got to travel a long way, and it's a day out of their, sometimes 2 days out of their week. When you tie all those costs in to what those videos earn, it's very much a loss leader for the channel. I do it because I enjoy it. It's fun, and I know the viewers like it. But as regards being a viable part of the channel, currently it's not. I mean, obviously one day it will be, because those videos continue to earn money year on year on year, and they'll get to a break-even point each one, and then they'll be in credit. But it will take a very long time for that to happen. Anyway, I ramble on. So where were we? So hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. So there'll be a change in the intro, but I'll try and keep it fun. Quantity surveying. There we go, look. Yeah, so hopefully, Brian, you will be able to watch some of the videos in the future with your wife in the same room, because, you know, I really don't think that that's a problem. Do you? You know, I mean, I think that outfit is bang on. Anyway, Jim K, I wonder if there's something soy or food-based insulation in the wiring harness. Maybe. I don't know, Jim. You'll have to have a little bite and see what it tastes like. Richo, yeah, I can't, Brian. Okay. I can't post that. John Tyson. When I was teaching in Auckland in 1998-99, I was paid based on the course feedback from the students. If I had a GPA of 4.0, I got full pay. Less than that, I got half pay. Holy, that's terrible. Jim K, we're able to get the new easy remove Tool Girl pant. Yes, 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 with the emergency escape hatch. Yes, yes, you'll see those next time Holly's down. You will. I think it was a really good safety addition to the clothing. Yes, yes, Jim, it's done. You'll like it, I'm sure. Holly will like it a lot, I'm sure. Kenny Everett, that was it. Simon, you see, Simon's a wealth of knowledge. My memory goes these days. Thank you, Simon. The Kenny Everett show, funny as hell. Yes, scantily clad women. Yes, and we see it on movies all the time. You know, Fast and Furious. Anybody can play with that kind of stuff? No, they don't. I don't see a problem. I really don't see a problem. If anything, that social media is to go by at the moment, women are definitely wearing less and less and less and less and less. They're quite happy to show off what they've got. Not that I'm complaining. I'm quite the opposite. But, you know, I think this whole PC thing is, you've got these two groups. You know, one group is really hardened on not exploiting women. And I mean, to say no tool girls in videos would be sexist. Absolutely. So, you know, you've got to protect the rights of the fairer sex. UK Weekend Workshop, your comments regarding Unitec, pretty much the same end result here in the UK, and the main reason I haven't gone into teaching our trade. It would, knowing now what I know, I would definitely have thought twice about even going into teaching. But saying that, I taught for the students. I didn't teach for Unitec. I enjoyed it. It was a great 5 years of my life. I met a lot of awesome people, and some of those people are still in my life now. You know, good friends that I've followed into industry and are doing really well. And we catch up for a beer now and again. You know, Ashton and a few others, Brennan. And it's great to see. It really is. And that makes it all worthwhile to me. It's not about the money for me. But the whole infrastructure and management behind that teaching, completely wrong, in my opinion. Alan Joseph, that's true about Unitec. This year they had around 100 international students paying an average of $26,000. That's right. I pay almost half of it, but still it doesn't work. It doesn't worth all I have is what I learned from the work. Oh, it isn't worth. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just not worth it. It really isn't. I think you'd learn just as much if you were in the trade, starting from the ground up. Brian, and you'd be earning as well. Brian Graham, I know where you're coming from, Andy. I grew up in the building trade in Yorkshire in the 70s, but it's getting a bit cringy. Yep, I know. I hear what you're saying. The Zep one, nice shot though. Yeah, it's getting there. It is getting there. Alan Joseph, is it Holiday Mentals? No, it's not Holiday. Pall Mall. Oh, nice foot. Look at that. My feet don't look like that. Just for reference. I very much doubt they ever will one day. If they do, I'll probably just chop them off. I'll make something instead. Alan Joseph, you should send me some stickers, mate, for the guesswork. Send me an email and I'll send you some stickers. UK Weekend Workshop, Benny Hill once said in an interview, when questioned about the women in his show, said that when a walking guy in a sketch is looking at a woman passing by, who gets hurt when he walks into the sign? Very good response. I like that. David Eagleton, if you've got it, show it, because as we age, we all know what happens, lol. That's right. Duke of the Dales, he's out of bed. Look at that. Hi, Andy. Hope you're well. I've not been around for a while, so looking forward to catching up on your videos. Yeah, there's not that many new ones that have gone out recently, unfortunately. I think the most recent one was Holly doing the Meccano build, which was that was a massive filming session. It took me a long time to edit that video up. It took me probably 20 hours of work to edit that video. Jim K, You can't say Andy isn't health and safety minded. I try to be. I used to be really, I'm very health and safety conscious. I am. David Eagleton, been a man of 43 years old. Yeah, well, I'm 48 years old. But like they say, you're only as young as the woman you feel, isn't that right? Anyway, I've caught up with the comments. And we're an hour and 25 minutes in. So, for those that have just joined us, the underlying theme behind this live stream is the Andy Mechanic Tool Girl Toolbox stickers. And this is obviously the gorgeous Tool Girl Holly on the sticker there, look. And you can have one of these for your toolbox absolutely free of charge. Even the postage I'm going to pay for you. All you need to do is send me an email. It's andymechanic@live.co.uk and tell me 2 or 3 things why you like the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. What are the real bits that you enjoy about watching the channel? You know, what brings you back to watch more videos? And then tell me, if you were Andy Mechanic and running this YouTube channel, what would you like to see in future videos? Now, if you put bikini chicks, then it's not going to happen. I've already explained that. More tool girls, yes, I try as much as I possibly can, but it's very hard logistically to get the tool girls to come down. And at the moment, there is actually only Tool Girl Holly around. Lily has left the show, unfortunately. It was a terrible day, but she's moving on to focus on her modelling, which a lot of the tool girls do. But Holly, I'm sure, will be around for a lot longer to come, and I am, you know, actively trying to seek out another tool girl to come and film with us. But it takes a very specific kind of woman to play the role of a tool girl, as I'm sure you can imagine. So, not an easy thing to find. Not an easy role to fill. There you go. I've just spotted some more rat poo. I have. Little bastard. Anyway, Alan Joseph, let me guess. Pall Malls extras should be 32. Yeah, you've got it, Alan. Good job. Way too expensive. Jim K, workshop update. Yes, come on, Jim. Let's do that. See, I need prompting every now and again. Okay, now I'm just going to... Hopefully my phone isn't going to go flat. It's been on charge for a while, so it should be all right. Okay, you're off the charger. I'm going to turn the camera around. I've still got stuff to talk about, so we're not going to go away yet. So first of all, where's the racking? Well, better start down this end. Okay, so this was late last night. The bench press finally got mounted at the end of the racking where I wanted it to be. It's off the floor and it's all done. I had to put one more couple of uprights up on the wall, and I ran out of C-section, so this is just the heavy angle line, but it's good enough. It's good and strong. It's not going to go anywhere. So we now have the bench press in position, and the racking. Let's just do a bit of a pan shot for you. Oh, look at that. Right, so there you go. Look, it's all up. We've got some more drawers at the end. They're actually meant to go on the end of a roll cap, but they fit perfectly under the roller door, so they went in there. And the cupboard for all the stickers, that's in. And I made it just a big enough gap to put some boxes in there, and still boxes up there. And actually, where can we show them? All the braces are in place as well, look. So that's that one up there, look. So those braces go onto the main beam structure of the workshop, because there's a hell of a lot of weight on there, and it's all freestanding. There's no props, you know, coming down from here down to the ground. It's all hung off the wall, and that's the idea. So I can put all my roll cabs and trolleys, and there's a few more now. I actually bought. Yes, I bought. Hang on. There you go. Look, I bought a wide trolley for down there with a drawer, and I made another trolley out of some of the bits of racking. That's that one there, look. And I even bought a new roll cab. Look at that. And in here is a new tool. Look at that. It's a little finger file from Makita. So I'm looking forward to using that. I've got a job for that shortly, so I'll run through that with you. But yeah, there's 5 of those. Oh, there you go. Look, 5 of those roof braces. There's another one there. Look at the top. Another one there, and they all got put on the evenings this week, so it's pretty good. pretty good. It's finished. It's done. I can relax. My most favourite part about it are these little fittings that I made here. Look, these are cool. I like all these sort of countersunk stainless bolts and stuff. They came out really, really well. So it's nice and strong, doesn't move around, can carry the weight. Very, very happy. So a quick pan of the whole workshop. Dum dum dum, dum 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 dum. Nice slow pan. There you go. Look. Oh, Tool Girl cupboard still open. Yeah, I have got a couple of engines under the bench that I have to find homes for. But hey, it's not too bad. We're getting there. So I'm back. Is that going to work? Yeah, that's going to work. So I hear you say, why did you buy a new tool, Andy? Yep, I can hear that. Well, I have a job to do. And the next job, another fabrication job, there's always fabrication jobs to do. Let's get rid of these stickers out of the way because I don't want to get those dirty. I'll keep one just for the camera. Right. So a few months ago, I had to design a bolt-in brace. Now this is a brace that strengthens the upper mounts on an ROV for the front shock absorbers because the chassis just wasn't strong enough for some applications. Now this is the brace. It's a very heavy steel plate brace. Now these are, I think these are both 12 mil thick. 12, yes they are. These are both 12 mil thick plate steel, and they've got some notches at the top, and that's what that tool's for, to help me to just finish off those notches. And the steps, oh look at that camera angle. See the ones at a different height to the other? I can't remember what the actual dimensions are. But yeah, so that's what it's for. And it can't be welding, it has to be bolting. And there's some little plates that go on, try not to bash anything, that bolt onto those two holes there, look, and then and then they actually reinforce the shock mount, which is down by my fingers down here, look. And you put a longer bolt in there. So, sorry Lily. Right, so I had some of these laser cut. And there's 3 packs, there's 60 of these. I've got quite a few to make. So that's the brace there, look, all done. Oh, upside down, sorry chaps, there you go. That's the sticker and everything from Precision in Auckland. They did a fantastic job on those. So there's 60 of those. Picked those up earlier in the week. Wednesday morning it was actually. I had to take them this prototype because the curvature on here, the radius, is quite specific. They have to get it bang on because this fits into a recess on the chassis where there's a lip. And of course you don't want the tech staff to start grinding stuff out and things. It should just be a bolt-in job. So I have changed the design slightly because on this one there's little steel spaces that I made up on the lathe, which took me bloody ages to make them, to be honest. And so what I've decided to do is to put a third steel, even heavier, third steel plate in there, which I've got to design as a spacer. The overall thickness has to be exactly 32 millimeters. So I'm going to use a 12 mil plate and 2 10 mil plates, and that'll give me the 32 mil thickness. And then they're going to be painted up. Remember, this is only the prototype and the pattern. Whether I make a video, I was thinking about making a video. See what you think, because I do a lot of fabrication work and a lot of repetitive fabrication work, exactly the same as with the racking that I've just done. I find that making templates and little jigs, even though it takes a bit more time at the start, it standardizes the parts and makes it much quicker to make a batch all identical. So that's, would a video be helpful on that? And if so, this would be a perfect opportunity to make a video making this brace, or making the new ones, using this old one, the prototype, as the pattern. So maybe, just maybe, I'll make a video on those. But yeah, that little finger file is just to sort of tidy up and finish off those little grooves in here, like these little steps, because the 2 chassis rails come down here like this. You see it? Basically, the force is upwards, obviously, because the shock is pushing up on this, and that sits against the chassis rail to provide it some support. It also bolts in as well, but that's the main support. So yeah, I've got my work cut out. I've got to make 14. Yeah, 14 of those. So quite a big job. Anyway, where are we? Let's go back a little bit. So that's the next few days, I think. Richo, 1 year ciggy free. I really should start. I don't smoke very many, to be honest, and I think I've only had one on camera today, so I'm doing pretty well. Brian Graham, don't get me wrong, Andy. I love to girls just as much as the next guy. But look at Musty One and how many subscribers he's got with no girls. I agree. Having the Tool Girls was not directed at boosting the channel. It wasn't at all. The comments that I got in some of the early videos was that I had made assumptions and didn't cover the basics of a particular job. Now, when I was teaching at Unitec, obviously I had students asking me questions as we were doing the work, and those questions were really paramount. They were questions that if you know what you're doing, you just don't think about it. You just get on and do it. You just naturally move on. So having a tool girl in the video, i.e. an assistant, the tool girl would almost act like a student because they're not qualified. They're not, apart from Holly, they're not familiar with the processes. So they would ask the basic questions as we're doing the job. Those questions that needed to be addressed and the information presented in the video. So it was a really good way of prompting me to include that information in the videos, and it made it more fun as well because I'm actually able to teach to somebody, during the video. So that was the main reason for doing it. But obviously, yeah, I agree. Wearing a bikini probably wasn't the best idea. But I think now with Holly, the way that the outfit that she's got, I think that's quite acceptable. So did it have Tool Girls benefited the channel? Yeah, they've probably given me a few more subscribers, and no doubt there's going to be a few more views. But when you look at not just the financial, but the amount of work involved with the Tool Girls, when I'm filming with the Tool Girl, normally there's 2 cameras, not 1, so the editing takes a lot longer, and the video tends not to make or get as many views as it would need to get to justify the additional work. So I just do it because I enjoy it, really. I enjoy having Tool Girls around. It's for me and you. Simon Watling, cheers for the Holly sticker. I love the live streams. You get to hear all sorts of weird stuff on the live streams, don't you? King L looks amazing. David Eagleton, times are hard. You can only do so much. That's right. Simon Watling. Where is he? Nice. MG, looking really good, Andy. Duke of the Dales, awesome workshop. Thanks, Duke of the Dales. Appreciate that. Alan Joseph. Hang on. We need some coffee. Right. Yesterday, I had a single malt Glenfiddich, and here I am with Andy, hoping one day I will meet him to share one. That will be very nice. I would look forward to that. Man, you are awesome. Harry Coa, is that right? Appreciate that, Alan. Yeah, maybe one day if our paths cross, then we'll definitely share a whiskey together. Brian Graham, the workshop has turned out really great. I'm really jealous. I've still got sheds and I'm working outdoors most of the time. I have actually, good segue. Cheers for that, Brian. When I came down from Auckland on Wednesday, I called in at Max Burt timber sawmill place and picked up the next batch of timber to put the noggins in on the roof for the carport, the one that's in front of the garage. I've got all the nuts and bolts for that as well. So again, I was planning for a lockdown. It's good to get the materials in, and I've got what I need to do. So the next stage of the carport should happen hopefully in the next week, maybe 2 weeks, and then all that's left to do is to roof it, just to put some corrugated iron up there, and then we're all done. I've got myself a carport. It'd be fantastic. It'd be really, really good. And I think it'll help to keep the workshop a bit cooler in the summertime as well, because the sunlight won't be directly on the big metal doors, because they get so hot during the summertime, it's unreal. And I have to have them closed for filming. So Maybe what I'll do is, in fact, what I am going to do on the carport is I'm going to get some heavy sort of sheeting stuff on rolls, so I can roll it down and make it enclosed. And when that's the case, I can have these doors open, and you'll see inside the carport as well when I'm filming. Be awesome, wouldn't it? Be huge. It's probably going to double the size, well, almost double the size of the workshop. Be very cool. Jim K, I will be emailing you about what they are doing to bed the frame on the ROVs. Okay. Simon Watling, nah, just show us the finished product. Okay, will do. Brian Graham, hope you are joking about Mrs. Mechanic. If not, you have my sympathy. I've been there. It's a hard time, or all of the hard times, as Hubnut would say. Okay, yes, Mrs. Mechanic has left me. She's gone up to Auckland for a few days, and she'll be back on Tuesday. She hasn't left me completely, although I have no idea why she's still around. I really don't. I am not a good husband at all. But we met when she was 15 years old, and we've been together ever since, so there must be something between us that is holding us together. Jim K, is it raining there? Jim, it's just started to rain. You've jinxed it. Yeah, it looks pretty cloudy. Richard, Tool Girl Sam was one of my favourites. I was in contact with Tool Girl Sam not too long ago, to be honest, and she's doing fine. She's all right. I am hoping that she may even come back to do a Tool Girl Sam is back day. You know, it'd be great. Work in progress. We'll see what happens. But I'm sure she'll like the new outfit we've got for her. Spencer Medlin, found your channel yesterday. Enjoyed the trailer axle rebuild. Yeah, trailer axles. Man, that video has done really well these last few days, last few weeks, really. It's been picking up considerably on the views. And I had a guy, one of the comments, and you'll be able to read it there, said to, I haven't got my phone, so I can't look it up, but he was basically saying, oh, you've done the axle completely wrong. The axle should be bent. There should be some toe on the hubs, on the wheels to tow in. Otherwise, the trailer will flap around on the back of your car. And at the end of the day, my opinion is, I've never set, well, I've always had the toe at 0 degrees. I've never set toe in on a trailer axle on any of the trailers I've ever built. I mean, the first thing is it's going to create tyre scrub. So your tyres aren't going to last as long. It's also going to increase the rolling resistance of the trailer, so you're going to use more fuel. Basically, in my opinion, if your trailer is flapping around on the back of your car, it means you haven't got sufficient hitch weight. You may have seen a little video that's been flying around on Facebook for the last few years where they have a little trailer on a car on like a little treadmill thing, and they move the weight from the front to the back of the trailer, and of course instantly it starts to flap around on the treadmill, and then they put the weight back to the front of the trailer where there's a bit more hitch weight now, and the trailer runs straight as a die. If your trailer's flapping around, you've not loaded it correctly. I don't think it's got anything to do with toe on the axle of the trailer. Spencer Medlin, done that one. Sorry, Jim K. Darren auto correct. Okay, well. Oh, okay. Do that. Yep, that's fine, Jim. Alan Joseph, I have never been to Taupo. Is it scenic? Do you think coming from Auckland to Taupo for a drive is worth it? Absolutely. Taupo is an amazing area. And if you go just south of Taupo, you've got the mountain down there, Mount Ruapehu, and you can go up to the top, or to the ski field area, and you get some fantastic views up there as well. And it's not that much more of a drive, maybe another hour and a quarter south of Lake Taupo. You get to go on Desert Road as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's definitely worth heading down that way. It is. I drive that road on a regular basis. It's a fun part. It's a nice road to do on the way home as well. It's not so nice when it's icy, to be honest. It's pretty dodgy down there. So we've talked about all sorts of different stuff today. We've talked about Tool Girls, we've talked about Tool Girl outfits and how they've changed over the years, and how Andy's trying to make the Tool Girls still look nice, but a bit more PC, so a bit more acceptable to the masses. And I'm hoping that the work I'm putting in the background will be acceptable to the company that supports the channel, one of the companies. I'm pretty confident we can get it sorted out, but you know, it will need to be a compromise. End of the day, you know, in the automotive industry, young ladies and skin and assets tend to feature quite prominently, and I don't think it's exploiting the female form at all. I think it's what the female form stands for. You know, eye candy, bit of fun, that's all it is, and some people just need to realize that. Anyway, crew, I do have a lot of work to do. It's been absolutely fantastic spending some time with you. Don't forget, if you haven't yet got your own Tool Girl mug, and there's lots of different ones out there, and there's also the official one. Lily, look, there she is. She's as funny as hell down at the pub is old Lily. She's great. Go on to Zazzle. There's a link in the description. You can grab some Andy Mechanic merch. There's all sorts of different mugs and even Tool Girl leggings. You can get your hands on some of those for your partner for Christmas. But yeah, definitely worth a look. And if you do decide to buy anything from the Zazzle store, then send through a selfie. Obviously, if you're buying some Tool Girl leggings, it doesn't want to be a chap wearing them, really. But anyway, send through a selfie, and you'll go into the draw to win some Tang tools, some Forge gear, and some more Andy Mechanic merch, including a bespoke Andy Mechanic jacket. But I won't even order that until I get the sizes of the person that wins. And the draw will be held in December 2020. So there's still plenty of time to get organised. It can take a week up to 6 weeks to get delivery of the stuff from Zazzle, depending on where you are in the world. So do plan ahead and don't get caught short. But yeah, do remember to send me through that selfie. And if you want an Andy Mechanic Toolbox sticker, and who wouldn't, to be honest, then send me an email through with some suggestions on the channel, reasons why you watch the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. So I'm looking for a bit of feedback, and obviously your full name, address, postcode, and country, and then I will send you free of charge one of these awesome Toolbox stickers. Once it arrives, feel free, no obligation, send me a picture through of your toolbox with a sticker on, and I may decide to use that in some social media, or possibly even on the new intro video for each of the videos that goes out. You know the one I mean, the first sort of 30 seconds that plays. Now then, anything else? I don't think so. We've covered that. We've done the stickers many times. We've got some awesome merchandise now on the Zazzle site. So, you know, if you haven't yet got one, now's the time. And that coffee's still drinkable, and we're an hour and 4. Well, in fact, it was probably 2 hours ago when I made that coffee. Good old Holly, keeping my coffee hot. Oh, what else have we got? There's loads more. Alan Joseph, we are planning when it's best time of year to come down to Taupo. Well, don't come down on a bank holiday weekend because the roads are just chocker. You're better off coming down sort of midweek if you can take a few days off. Richo, nothing wrong with a bit of skin. I agree completely. Alan Joseph, goodbye, Alan. Thanks for joining us. Pat Toohill, I knew Mrs. Mechanic would never leave. She would just slowly kill you. Yeah, pretty much. Simon, have a good week, Andy. You too, Simon. Thanks for joining in and for hanging around for so long as well, to be honest. It does take up a lot of your day. Duke of the Dales, have a great day, Andy. I will. I'm going to be busy. Neighbours will be telling me off for all the grinding again, but it's the way it goes. MG, have a good one. Richo, I'm going to get my wife some leggings. I think that's a great idea. She'd be very happy wearing those down at the pub with a nice pair of white stilettos, I'm sure. UK Weekend Workshop. I've yet to see a trailer that has the setup of toe on the hub wheel assembly. Correct, me too. A very good friend of mine owns a trailer retailer and has designed a few over the years, and they all have straight axles. Thank you very much. Vindicated as always. John Tyson. Cheers, Boof. That must be a private joke. I think he means bud. Anyway, all good. Cheers, John. Right, chaps, I'm going to head off and, well, tidy up, start grinding, cutting some steel. Thank you for joining me, and, well, I'll see you next Sunday. Cheers for now. Over and out.